Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. I recently was able to find some recycled bismuth shot from a surplus place. It's made of 94% bismuth, 6% tin. I affectionately call it 22 karat bismuth. And it's great for casting, but not so good for making crystals. And I decided to see what would happen if I attempted to make crystals. I had an old hemisphere mold that was kind of junk anyway, that I didn't mind getting contaminated with tin. So I thought I would just attempt it to see what would happen. And it turned out a little bit better than I had thought. Probably not worth keeping, but I'm still going to do this, but for a very different reason. So the reason it still somewhat formed bismuth crystals is that tin and bismuth form a very interesting system. So as you add tin to bismuth, the freezing point lowers. And when you have a mixture of bismuth and tin, as long as you have more than 58% bismuth, actually only the bismuth will crystallize. The best analogy I can think of is salt water, right? When salt water freezes, only water freezes, right? That's part of the reason why we have the problem with rising sea levels, right? The salt stays behind while the less dense water just freezes. And I thought I could make better crystals that way because the melting point would be lower, right? So 22 karat bismuth is right here, and as bismuth crystallizes out, in theory, the melting point would actually get lower, and so it would be easier to control. Unfortunately, the tin also gets in the way of the crystals forming. But the nice thing is that after making a couple of these, I got something that was closer to that. And that stuff casts really well. This is a Ganesh made of something that was closer to the eutectic point because I already pulled those two out of there. And here's what I'm thinking of doing. I'm going to do this a couple more times. And this is a much purer bismuth than the 22 karat that I started with. Perhaps after a few rounds of that, I could actually melt this down and make actual bismuth. I don't know. I'm gonna give that a try and see because this is not really worth keeping. It's got so many sharp edges. All right, interesting that I explored this, and now I can pull out. Let's see, I got about 35 pounds of this stuff. I could probably pull out a few more of this eutectic, 14 karat bismuth, as I like to call it, and hopefully pull much purer bismuth out and make some crystals out of that as well. This is the Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum 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 bum.